My name's Russ Jackson, I'm the head of CID in Greater Manchester Police, and I'm outside the Sheldon Arms in Ashton. I was last here on October the 5th, which was the day after the shooting of Kieran McGrath. I want to cast people's minds back to what happened. But first of all, let me just tell you a little bit about Kieran. When I was interviewed by the TV and the other press outlets on the day after, I was asked a question about Kieran. I was asked if he'd been involved in the police, and I said then, as I say now, that he was involved in the police. In fact, I discussed this with Marie, his mum, today, and she's done a television interview, and she describes how devastated she is about what happened. She actually said to me that she feels every single day physically sick about what happened. And even though Kieran may have been involved in the police, let me just paint a different picture around Kieran. If you were to go to Ashton Police Station, which is the place he actually died, because bravely and with some determination he drove there after being shot, you would have seen hundreds and hundreds of tributes to him and how well he was loved. He lives behind his mum Marie, his two sisters, the younger of which is only 14. And Marie explained to me how much of a loving son he was and how much he'd looked after her. He actually played football, he loved sport like a lot of local lads do. He grew up in the Clayton area. He actually played for Oldham Athletic, but one of the reasons why he gave that up, Marie explained, is because when she took ill when he was only 13, Kieran actually looked after her. So Kieran was a very, very loved son, and he is very sorely missed by so many people. And the other thing I want to say is the manner in which he died. He left this pub at 10 that evening. He managed to get in his car and he was attacked from the rear. People lay in wait for him and they attacked him from the rear. 4 shots at least were discharged towards him. One went through his back, he was shot in the back, and bravely and with some determination he made his way to Ashton Police Station, where he died. Now we know the offenders used a bike. The bike was like this one. This is a similar bike. It's not exactly the same one because the real one was burnt out at Boggart Hole Clough, and we found that 3 days later. Let me tell you the history of this bike in question. As I say, this is a replica of it. It was stolen 18 months ago. This bike has been used over that 18-month period. Of that I'm confident. It's either been on false plates and being used, or it's been stored somewhere. Now there's about 50 of these in the Greater Manchester area, and we're not appealing for the owners of those bikes to come forward or people that know those owners. People will know that somebody's had their hands on a stolen bike of this nature, and we need those people to come forward. This bike was next seen after being stolen really at 10 to 10 on the evening in the travel lodge just behind the Sheldon Arms here. And what happens just before the attack is the bike that's similar to this, it has a driver and a pillion passenger on it. They've both got helmets on and they're circling round in the travel lodge just behind me, just behind the pub. And then they come onto the car park here, and we're now into about 5 to 10. Both lads get off, they're both men, both get off, and certainly one looks through the pub window, and we think he's looking to see if Kieran is there. They then get back on the bike, and I'm using the words lie in wait because that's what they do, they lie in wait. They wait for Kieran to exit, gets in the car, and that's when shots are fired at him, and as I say, one hits him from the back and he subsequently dies. This bike then leaves the scene. We next see it at the Manchester area, Charleston Avenue, about 26 minutes past 10, and then we find it again when it's burned out 3 days later in Boggart Hole Clough. Now, as you'd expect, one of our main lines of inquiries, we would say, is tracing the witness that were inside the pub at this time, and we know there's about 50 of them, and we've spoken to over half of them then, but there's 2 men we really need to speak to. And what happens is shortly before the attack is 2 men park 2 different cars actually behind me in the car park of the travel lodge, and they walk into the pub and they get drinks and they sit in a window which is overlooking the car park. And when the attack happens, very soon after they leave the pub and they go back to the 2 cars and they get in one of those cars and they leave the scene. And it's the following day we think those 2 men return and pick up that second car. Now the importance of this, and we're treating these 2 men as witnesses, the importance of this is they come forward because they may have seen things, and in fact we need to speak to every single person that's in that pub at the time who could be really crucial witnesses and they may not realise. Now we know people may be worried. We've got a lot of experience in Greater Manchester Police of treating information in confidence, and we need to give people that reassurance, and please come forward to us and we'll treat their evidence very, very carefully. The reality is in Greater Manchester we've got a lot of experience on this. Gun crime is nowhere near where it was in the 2008s, 2009s, and the reason for that is not simply because of police action. It's because of, yes, the work we've done, but working with partner agencies such as the local authorities and social services. But I tell you, who really should take the credit for this, it's local people. It's working with us and saying no to gun crime, and it's giving us that evidence. So this will get solved, of that I am absolutely confident, if we work together as local people and local police to bring these people to justice. It is absolutely, completely unacceptable to use firearms in our streets, and to gun somebody down who is completely unarmed and to shoot him in the back is absolutely terrible. And having met Marie today and to see what she's going through, you know, she said to me, nothing will bring Kieran back, I know that, but I really want my day in court and I really want to bring those people to justice. And then at that moment, a sister stepped in and said, and we don't want it to happen to anybody else. And I really appeal to people to help us to bring those people to justice. Thank you.